the symbols on the stone. They were only ever recorded in one other place in the world, the Temple of the Sun in Cusco. The Spanish built it on top of an Orica temple.
Orica, will you lead us to this temple?
That stonework is 17th century. What we're looking for is something much older.
And it's to stop the end of the world. But we may have some trouble getting there.
We're trying to make it feel big.
Somehow, through our writings, we realized there was a worldwide franchise. We just started to take it to, world famous places.
Originally, we wrote this movie for Kilimanjaro and Rio. We've shot in international heritage sites and Stonehenge and pyramids.
We've been to Egypt, pyramids of Giza. We've been to Jordan, the top of Petra. We've been to London. We talked our way on the Great Wall.
We've been to Paris,
the space shuttle.
And part of the reason we can get into these spectacular places is the people in charge of them love Transformers.
It's amazing how this franchise has got us into places around the world because it is so world famous.
I am in position.
It's the first time physically meeting Steven. Talked to him over Zoom, tried to pass on a lot of tips because it's a war doing these movies. There he is right there, baby. There he is. There he is. Come on.
Come here.
Yeah. We're passing the torch.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Fan of franchise forever. Of course, what this guy has done, it had take it to a new level. And so, for me to be a part of this franchise and you passing over the torch.
That's right.
No pressure at all.
It's all good.
Coast is clear. Noah, Elena, it's go time.
Everyone wants to be part of the family. I mean, they kind of already are, if they're fans of the franchise. But, for us trying to get locations, cities and countries open up to us, it's the love.
Luckily, we haven't screwed anything up.
Yeah, you might have screwed something up for me. He's blown up things more than I have, so I'm keeping it low profile.
It brings home that the escapist nature of this speaks to a lot of people. It takes them out of their everyday life into an extraordinary place. So that's in a way our obligation is then to give them an extraordinary experience.
And then we landed on Peru because nobody had really shot a major film before in Peru. For good reason, because there's not a big crew base there and it's harder to get to.
And so some of the challenges were trying to make these locations accessible.
It's really technically hard to do and pull off. We have so much equipment. We found a way to the Techno Valley out here, the crane out here.
We've had to build bridges. We built wooden pathways, footpaths, fixed roads.
We put in a crane platform in the middle of a river. It was a lot deeper than I thought it would be. Hope they like it.
That's a nice one.
The locations were very dangerous, sometimes scary.
All the doctors have anti-venom if we get a bite. We have a snake wrangler who every day walks around looking for snakes.
And on top of that, we're really high in these mountains, so the altitude is crazy. If you're not from there, you can barely breathe.
This is the part you gotta pay for shooting on location.
It will be a physical challenge for a crew to move equipment and for the actors, and it's a ordeal to get everything down there. We've been shipping things there for months, 4 months, 5 months, put some of our Transformers vehicles on freighters and send them off, and they get there 2 months later.
Yeah, I'm walking Peru.
Peru, yeah, they're not used to this. I don't think they haven't done a big movie there, They don't have crews that know how to work the equipment, so we have to take all the crews there. So it's going to be challenging, yes.
I never should have taken us so far from home.
So right now we are in Tactahuaman, the fortress overlooking the city of Cusco. They call it the navel of the world, ombligo del mundo, because they think Cusco has a very strong energy for the whole world.
We have this very wide shot with these two little human beings there, but you know that it's going to be a huge plane place. Everything's going to be so good with the plane.
Blessed to be able to go there. There are few places as beautiful on Earth. It was probably one of the most amazing shooting experiences any of us will ever really get to have.
Sorry, Henry. I was taking in a harmonious moment between a serene butterfly and an unruffled caterpillar. Oh, yeah, Papa, where are you from? Cybertron?
During Inca times, there was a lot of different nations in the Andes. And after the Spaniards arrived, these nations continue their development. So we cannot say that there's just one culture. We have several cultures in Peru, and we all get together to be Peruvians.
When we arrived, they shared their world with us. I am Suwaiki.
You allied with humans.
Blend in. Act natural.
We're doing this for
It's a festival that shuts down the human fear.
We've taken some of the various kinds of festivals we have.
And I'd say it came out 10 times better than what we expected. We were able to really just go all the way with it in terms of what was being faced, from the threats on the ground to Unicron in the sky to really ramping up the stakes and having what we feel is going to be an epic set piece that will hopefully be remembered for years to come.
I can't hold it back.
We are at the sanctuary on Machu Picchu, and we just had a shaman bless this film, bless the spaces that we take up, give thanks to Mother Earth for allowing us to be here to honor the people of Peru, the land, the animals, butterflies, and to show our appreciation for being able to be here and to shoot Transformers here.
We shot on top of Machu Picchu, and for us to be up there on sacred ground, being in the ruins, it's just such a beautiful experience. We'll be on set trying to film a scene, and next thing you know, we just all are sitting off looking into the clouds reflecting, you know, and just think about like, wow, one, we're here, but two, how did they make this? This is insane.
Machu Picchu is, for me, the most beautiful, important, sacred place. This is a place of connection between humans and gods. The amount of effort that the Incas put in building Machu Picchu has no comparison. Basically, what they did is they transformed the mountain without affecting nature.
So similarly to the Incas, in order to shoot Machu Picchu, you have to apply their philosophy, which is not impose your usual, but rather like use whatever is available.
You know, a lot of people nowadays are shooting on 40-foot by 80-foot LED screens, and in that version, a small crew would go to Machu Picchu, we'd put it up on the screens, you know, shoot the actors in front of it, and it looks pretty good. But going to Peru, moving the camera, moving amongst the ruins of Machu Picchu, and putting CG characters into a moving shot, it's just a different experience altogether.
You could build a piece of Machu Picchu. We did that with Stonehenge, actually, because Stonehenge is a relatively small thing. Like, try to do that with Machu Picchu. And our belief and hope is that the sense of majesty and the sense of culture will come through from such an ancient monument.
Machu Picchu is a very tough location. I consider it like an island, because you can only go by train and you cannot drive or any other way. That's about it. So every time you shoot in Machu Picchu, the logistics are insane.
I just want to say thank you, Machu Picchu. Gracias. I feel the ancestors, I feel the spirits here, I feel the power of this place.
There's no electricity. Generators are not allowed because of petroleum, noise, and pollution.
On my home world, we believe that the battle with darkness will continue till all are one.
Definitely the lighting department had to use a lot of LED lighting with batteries.
It was very hard to get the permission for drones, but they gave us, and they were very generous with us about what we can do in Machu Picchu, but we have to be very careful and be very serious with them too.
Yeah, Machu Picchu is a very protected location. Like you can't, sit on a stone and touch the grass. So for a film crew, it's very restricted.
It's too late.
There was a very severe limit to what we were actually able to bring onto the location. I mean, you had to be completely respectful that every piece of it is precious,
In the last 5 years, there's a lot of more restrictions for filming in Machu Picchu, but still, we consider that this is a great way to show Machu Picchu to the world.
Carrying equipment up the steps, you couldn't roll anything on Machu Picchu. The rules were very strict.
We had to carry everything by hand, and we could not let it touch the ground. So that was a real challenge to try to shoot 30-foot robots without any crane or anything like that.
To shoot the robot, you have to be high. When we were scouting, said, well, the only thing we can use is Steadicam. But then Steven posed the question, the robots are high, so we're going to be looking at them like this. So yeah, you're right, if we're looking like this, we missed all much. We ended up designing with the grip and camera department a tube that is 13 feet high, which has a remote head. So we created this robot Steadicam.
Basically, they got a gigantic grip and made a harness for him and put a pole that was high enough to be head height with a robot.
Necessity is the mother of creation, they say.
You know, very basic grip technology, but was very, very effective, and it's everywhere in the film.
Autobots and Maximals will charge the bridge together and lure...
This grip, I saw that there was a massive battle on top of a volcano. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a challenge. How do we do this? And so when taking it in, I was like, there's no way we get human beings on top of a volcano, let alone even just camera equipment or anything like that. So how will we accomplish this? Like, we didn't know what the battle was yet. We just knew it was going to be on top of a volcano. And as the pieces sort of fell together, we're like, okay, we have to design a transport bridge. We have to design a battlefield. How far and close should we be to the heat? Is the lava going to be an obstacle in this course? And like, we just started to slowly create our battlefield and the challenges around it, step by step, with NPC and Weta and of course Gary, who's our visual effects supervisor.
The bridge is guarded by a...
One of the biggest challenges for a scene like this is that there's nothing really to see until we actually put some robots into it.
None of the stuff we were seeing on the day. We would go to set and it's just like a piece of the transport bridge, but I have to explain to them where the lava is, where the antenna is, what the goal is to get to the transport key. And we just all had to be in tune, and that goes from them to the cameramen to really try to capture the scene itself as we sort of built it out later on, because it was my first time ever doing a total CG world.
Scourge, they're back. Maximals, Autobots, roll out!
They arrive in this large landscape. The good guys are on one side, the bad guys are on the other. There's a third party that's on the opposite side. And the whole thing is about building up to get them all closer and closer and closer and closer to the key, which is the kind of capture the flag that they're all playing, is that everyone's trying to get to that spot. Some of them get close, but then get picked up and carried away. It was a big sandbox, you know, and it's quite a big, intimidating sandbox to look at first. Scenes like that take years to make. Basically from writing to previs to shooting it to executing it. You know, from end to end, I would say it took us about 2 years.
I'm going to need you to take the wheel. My first introduction into Transformers was the Transformers cartoon movie. And Daniel had an exosuit. And so I brought that to the film. I was like, I think Noah needs to turn into an Autobot. Like, I feel like the only way to really convey the Autobots are now able to trust the humans is to give them ability to transform.
Yo, Scourge! Remember me?
A lot of work went into designing the exosuit so that way Noah could actually move in it. On the day we didn't have the actual build, and you'll see that, we're probably gonna cut to it right now. He had this uniform on that he can see the width of the exosuit, so he knew how to move in it. It felt like we could do anything we want. Once you're a Transformer, it's like, what, do we need this one cannon or do we need 2 cannons? And he's like, I need 2 cannons. And so we would actually transform his arm out and then he'd be on set acting as if he's shooting. He actually did all his own stunts, so all the wire work, if Noah's in the air in the exosuit, he actually did the flip.
The initial approach to the exosuit was that Anthony was meant to have a visor down.
You think you can take me on alone?
And so he was going to be largely computer generative. Some of that was for ease of shooting, some of it was for time management with Anthony. But Steven threw it out there that he really wanted to be able to see Anthony's face, which changed the lens, and I think it was a really good call. We've all seen these kinds of effects before, and you can very quickly lose the humanity behind a CG suit. We get Anthony's face, we get his performance. He's a very good physical performer. You know, he's got a massive background with dance and physical performance. So really what we needed to find is we needed to find a way for Anthony to be able to perform with the limitations of what the suit was going to impose onto him. We had to find a way to give him a helmet to cast shadows on his face. We had shoulder pieces that would help him to understand the parameters and the volume of the suit that he would be wearing.
It's fun. I mean, I look crazy, for sure. And it's ridiculous.
Brooklyn, baby!
He wore it religiously, every single shot, without complaining.
I will destroy the key myself.
And it made a big difference.
Noah.
I got you!
It extended the shooting period that we needed to deal with him. that it meant that what you're seeing is the real.
March and pride!